and so are you. Um, yeah, this is like a little bit clickbaity, but I wanted to talk about the term as it is used, racism, because there is. I got addicted to watching Karen videos. I think I binged a whole bunch, and then also people getting arrested and auditing America, the police. So there's like channels of police kind of showing what heroes they are, and sometimes you're watching that thinking, not that much. Um, like it's a police YouTube channel, but you're seeing police brutality on it, like it looks like, and then they're like, "That's what happens when you run from the police." And I'm anyway, no, I in the course of watching these videos, I noticed that whenever someone is accused of racism, um, the first response, the knee-jerk response, is, "I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist." It doesn't really help when you're shouting it, but anyway, my response to that is like, how do you know? Because the thing is, I think we've gotten into the habit in our current kind of progressive culture, especially those of us who are, identifying as progressive or trying to be progressive, trying to be humanist lefties. There is a tendency to use the term racism interchangeably with bigotry based on racism, which is not necessarily the case. Like all of us, and I do believe, like, no matter your ethnicity, all of us have racism in us. We have prejudices based on race that are subliminal and subconscious and passed down to us from institutions as well as habits from parents and grown-ups around us. We're not born racist, obviously, but although it always it makes me laugh a little bit. But like when you see those videos of people going into the jungles of the Congo, and they have kids in the Congo, little babies who are like probably pretty young, like not speaking yet, and they start crying abjectly when they see white people. Um, oh, and that's happened to me on the subway sometimes. Like I've not necessarily someone from another ethnicity, might be like a baby from any any ethnicity really, but sometimes they look at me and they're delighted, but I have had that reaction where they're just like, "Oh my god, how horrifying," and they're just bawling their eyes out. So that's humbling. But yeah, so I think it's presumptuous to have your first reaction be, when you're accused of racism, "I'm not a racist," because you probably are. Um, if you're living in this society, you probably have some stuff that you don't think about that is racist, and it doesn't mean that you're a bigot. It doesn't, like, there's a difference between sort of myopic racism or the kind of like what they like to call it tone deaf now, because racism has come to mean bigotry. But I think actually it's okay to say that. I mean, it's not like, obviously it's something you want to work on, but it doesn't mean that you have to be canceled just because you have one racist blip or even like a habit that is kind of unconscious and a little bit racist. So yeah, I think that, like, there were years where I didn't think about the fact that I'm treated differently in certain establishments than other people, and I mean, I encounter stuff as a white person because I lived predominantly in India and in um, now in Thailand for 6 years, and mostly I think I'm treated pretty well. Um, and there's a privilege that comes with that too, because I'm regarded as having money and I'm treated a little better than, for instance, someone coming from India to here to Thailand. It's different. different vibe because my friend came from India and I noticed the difference. Um, but yeah, I think like we all like to think that we have an automatic access to the knowledge that we are all one, or we are all children of the divine. We are all human. We have that in common. We all love. We all yearn. We all want to live. We want to pursue happiness and freedom. Um, we like to think that we have this automatic. Like once you know that, oh, it's always there. But there's stuff that's institutional training, which is contradictory or working against that kind of ideal. And I'm going to say it. I think without some kind of spiritual practice, you're going to have trouble getting back to that objectivity if you're constantly engaging with content which is prejudicial. So, yeah, you're a racist and I'm a racist. I mean, probably, to some extent. We're not enlightened yet. Um, and we are always striving toward that empathetic humanity. Um, but it's not automatic. It's not like you can just slap yourself into it. Just like you can't just slap yourself into objectivity perfectly just because you have an intellect that semi works. So, so yeah, I was thinking about that, and I guess this is shorter than I thought. I thought this was going to be like a really long conversation, but that's sort of it. It's kind of anticlimactic. I was planning this video for a year and I didn't do it. I was a little nervous to talk about it, I guess. And now that it's out there, it sounds kind of like, well, duh. Anyway, all right, here you go. That's my thought on the matter.